What's good, everybody? I am super hyped to get into the Hippowdon busting changes. My man is an absolute don. We really love Hippowdon over here. So, quickly before I get into that, I want to have a little disclaimer, excuse me, to check out the description below. Just make sure you check it out because there is a link to the very same Google Sheet that is in all my videos. So if you are new here, definitely give that a look. Most importantly, on this little tab here at the bottom, you can see search all moves here. There's also tons of other really important sheets, but most importantly, you have this one where you can jump to all these little sections and they're all organized into things. So, you know, you got all these new moves, you got priority, all this blah, 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 all kinds of new stuff in this hack, 130 plus custom new moves and tons of other really important stuff. Not to mention, basically every move in the hack is changed or buffed in some regards. So definitely give that a look. But with that being said, we have some super cool stuff with Hippowdon, and the buffs here are honestly very straightforward, but they are very effective. So he's a lot stronger. He still has Sandstream, of course, as a great option. Keep in mind in this ROM hack you do have access to infinite usability capsules, so all you really have to do is to switch between your abilities. One of them is offensive, one of them is a little bit more defensive, because Sandstream now functions with the move Set Amend, which tons of rock and ground types have access to, which heals them by 2/3 HP under sand, and then otherwise it's just recover. It's the same as Slack Off, but better, essentially. So you get Slack Off earlier in the hack, you know, in the Kala Island, and then once you evolve, you get Set Amend with Sandstream, and that's incredible for, you know, just being a tank. You also have better HP and SPDF, so you have just much better bulk, 118, 82, pure ground type, super great. You have tons of great setup moves to like bulk up, as well as Iron Defense and Amnesia and Stockpile and Swallow. Swallow being buffed to heal you by full HP no matter what, as long as you got off a as long as you got off one stockpile, then Swallow will heal you to full HP, and it's also a priority move now too, so definitely worth using Swallow, especially if you deleted Sediment for some reason, but overall Sediment is a little bit more reliable. Yeah, it's just a tank. Again, Assault Vest sets are great, and then the other ability is Strong Jaw, which is very self-explanatory. Also, 132 base attack. My man is a giant fucking hippo. There's a lot of power creep in this hack. 132 attack without any boosting abilities is still incredible, but there's a lot of Pokemon that are way stronger than Hippowdon. But with Strong Jaw, it does give him some incredible coverage options to pair alongside his ground type stat. So he essentially has the benefits of having, for example, a part Dark typing or a part Rock typing or a part Psychic typing without having to have the added weaknesses of that typing. So moves like Crunch, Jagged Fangs, and Psychic Fangs become 128 base power with Strong Jaw, while Fire Fang, Ice Fang, Thunder Fang, and Poison Fang all become 113 base power. And those are all incredible coverage moves. Not to mention you also have other coverage, such as Zen Headbutt, Hell Thrust, Play Rough, Wild Charge, Rock Climb, Takedown, Stone Edge, Heavy Slam, Payback, Superpower, Rock Wrecker. All those moves are buffed or changed for the most part, so definitely give those all a look and see what they do now, because I'm not going to waste time getting into every little move change. Hippopotas I say Hippopotas is a lot better too. Also defensively, Hippowdon, not only does it have Sediment, it also has something like Parting Shot, which is huge on a slow tanky Pokemon like this. It has priority with First Impression, which most physically offensive Pokemon have access to now, but there's, you know, a couple of exceptions, but even slow guys like, you know, Hippowdon, Tangrowth type mons will get it, just because, you know, it's a very general move as a TM, and it's really cool in my opinion. So I love that TM, so I love that move. And it is buffed and changed as well, so definitely give that a look. But like I said, everything is in this hack. But yeah, something like Scary Face is pretty great. Yawn as well. Scary Face, I mean, already like your Strong Jaw moves plus your ground stab is already perfect coverage, but you know, you might want to specifically tailor your moveset for a specific fight, because keep in mind, in this ROM hack, there are a lot of like specific boss fights that you're gonna be wanting to counter, you know, so you can teach those moves as you go. And of course, what is it, 5? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5 out of the 7 Fang moves are reteachable, which is nice, so you can cycle between those. And then you have Roar, which is priority 3 PP, and the Z effect gives you +2 attack. Scary Face is really strong as well. Scary Face is just -2 speed, -1 attack, so that can be great with Sediment just to debuff the opponent. And then later on, you get Battle Cry, which is like an incredible defensive tool for Hippowdon, because he's already super tanky, and then you have access to a move that drops both the opponent's offensive stats by 2, which a lot of Pokemon have. That's more just to deal with all of the offensive bullshit in the hack, because there's tons of really powerful stuff flying around, and so it's nice to be able to deal with that. Not to mention all the crit moves that exist now, which you can find in the move sheet, kind of just make those, you know, they kind of nullify all those stat dropping moves, so it definitely, you know, balances out. But regardless, he's just a great fucking Pokemon. I love Hippowdon, super cool. There's a couple other options I'm not mentioning, like Rock Polish, which gives +1 accuracy as well now. Acid Reflux, which is really cool. Poisons the opponent, drops to Def, and you can use all these like utility moves, and then you can like Parting Shot out, even just Yawn plus Parting Shot, all that stuff. Parting Shot, honestly, I may as well quickly address it now. That's why I'm giving it to so many Pokemon. Number one, it's a great defensive tool to take advantage of, and it takes it takes a good amount of strategy to use. At the very least, it's not just Unga Bunga click attack, so I want to encourage that, and also just again because I want to give people a little bit more defensive counterplay to all the crazy offensive stuff in the hack. Not to mention, Parting Shot in my head is more, in this hack at least, I'm kind of reimagining it not just as like an insulting, because I know in Japanese I'm pretty sure it's parting threat, so it's like, okay, they're cursing you out basically, or telling you, oh, fuck off. But in this, I'm kind of imagining it more as just like, oh, they're kind of roaring at you or intimidating you before they switch out. So any vaguely intimidating Pokemon or nasty looking Pokemon or anything like that really can use Parting Shot. Not to mention anything mischievous, or basically like 80% of Pokemon can use it. But yeah, honestly, I'll leave off the video there. I'm probably ranting a little bit too much. But yeah, I love these buffs and changes. Super sick for Hippowdon. I did have to lower the special attack a little bit just for base stat total reasons. I could have gone 550, but either way, you still would have had the special attack drop. So not that it matters. It's just some people might find that annoying. Yeah, high horsepower is great stab, 95 base power. That's great until you get EQ later on. Not to mention, you could even argue high horsepower is a little bit better. Precipice Blaze is also huge because that's even stronger, a little bit inaccurate, but it does have that 30% burn rate. Headlong Rush is very strong, but it drops your defenses and gives you recoil damage, so that's a good, powerful option, but you might not want to run it. Yeah, that's really about it. I'll leave it off there. Thank you so much for listening. Hopefully you enjoyed this type of buff and change. If you did, definitely make sure you check out the description below. And most importantly, please make sure you subscribe to the channel if you listen this far in. I would really appreciate it. Thank you so much for your time, and I'll be back for more.